it's the best of times, it's the worst of times. The best of times is, most likely with the Republican House, you're not going to get the sort of free press pleasing net neutrality regulation legislatively from this Congress. The bad news is that may up the ante for the FCC to unilaterally reclassify the internet, thereby usurping the authority necessary to implement net neutrality, and they may very well do that during the lame duck FCC session, which would be the November, December, or January meetings that they have every month. The good news is the November agenda is out, and more than likely it's not going to happen in November, but that means December 15th or in January, they can slap it on the agenda, vote in the same 3-2 partisan Democrat fashion they did in June to begin this process, and reclassify the internet. And they may feel an extra bit of anxiety and pressure to do so, given the result of Tuesday's election. Well, nothing before has seemed to derail or dissipate his desire to do this. I mean, we already had 302 members of Congress, many of them were Democrats, and this was a Democrat majority Congress, saying don't reclassify. And that didn't slow him down. I mean, you had a slew of other outside forces telling him no. The 3-0 court, DC Circuit Court, a bunch of groups that are almost always left-wing, AFL-CIO, NAACP, etc. And all this opposition hasn't made him hesitate before. It didn't stop him in June. So I don't think, I'm not sure, I can't crawl into Chairman Genachowski's head, but I'm not sure another round of opposition is enough to stop him. The interesting thing and the questionable thing is the 95 Democrats that took the pro-net neutrality pledge, all of whom lost, and on whom the PCCC, the organization that had the net neutrality pledge, raised a whopping, depending upon which part of their website you look at, either $293 or $81 on 9 or 8 donors. So it's clearly a monstrous grassroots issue. And so that repudiation, the Center for Individual Freedom had a candidate survey, 24 anti-net neutrality candidates, all won. So you have 24-0 anti-net neutrality, 0 for 95 pro-net neutrality. I'm hoping, let's be hopeful, let's be optimistic. In the era of new hope and change in DC, let's be hopeful and changey that Chairman Genachowski will see this and recalculate his position on reclassification and net neutrality. If the grassroots support for net neutrality, the grassroots clamoring for net neutrality, has clearly again and again been demonstrated to not exist, not just from a fundraising standpoint, but from a voter standpoint, there is no urgent need. They've been saying since 2002 that we have to do something on net neutrality or the internet's going to explode. And what's happened between 2002 and now? It's just become bigger and better and bigger and better and bigger and better. And all the while they've been saying we must do net neutrality, we must do net neutrality, we must. So in the 8 years of them crying wolf, all we've seen is everything they were afraid was going to happen as a result of not having net neutrality happen. Beyond their wildest dreams and expectations. It has no basis in reality, it's untethered from reality, it has no grassroots support, as demonstrated. It has no regulatory necessity, as demonstrated by them calling for net neutrality for 8 years, and everything they said wouldn't happen has. What it is an ideological pursuit. It is not a better internet pursuit. It is not a better consumer pursuit. It is a leftist agenda item pursuit. And to that end, no amount of logic, unfortunately, may conceivably bleed through and stop them from doing what they want to do. And that's, to me, the ultimate fear and the ultimate concern.